All right, welcome back. We continue right here. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi. We're in the studio and taking your calls at 412-575-2600 and your tweets. Let us know what you think before we get to those phones. They are jumping tonight. Andrew, I want to ask you about the Steelers. Going into this season, the preseason's coming up, but the big question will be how this offense moves forward without Antonio Brown and without Le'Veon Bell. What do you say to that?
How does it move forward? By committee, I think, is the best way to do it. I mean, they've got a bunch of wide receivers. I think they got to spread the ball around. Bob, the offensive line without Mike Munchak should still be one of the best in all of football. So protection should not be an issue for Ben Roethlisberger. He doesn't have a go-to guy, but that in one way might at first make things more complicated for defenses because who do they game plan for at the start of the year? Besides Juju, is it Moncrief? Is it McDonald? Is it Deontay Johnson? Is it James Washington who excels in his second year? I expect Ben to put up reasonably good numbers, Bob. I think he'll be a Pro Bowl level quarterback again this year. I think if the Steelers are going to make the playoffs, the defense has to go to average or below average to good. And I think if they make that leap, they'll win the AFC North and they'll be there in January.
I think their defense will make a leap. I think they've worked on it. I can't expect, because of the fact that Terrell Austin's working on trying to take the ball away. They didn't do that at all last year. For a team that had 52 sacks, you have to have better than 8 interceptions for the entire season. That's an average of 1 every 2 games. You got to do better than that, and I think you'll see improved numbers there. All right, let's go to the line, Andrew. We got Mike in Bethel Park first. What's up, Mike?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Hey, just curious if you can clarify, and I don't even know, with that Dickerson trade, $250,000 international cash, does that mean they don't have to pay as much of a tax rate on that as U.S. currency, or I was just confused if either can do what that meant?
It comes in lira. No, it's toward international player.
Because those guys aren't in the draft.
Right, so you can use the money to go out and get some 16-year, 17-year-old kid right now who's playing in one of the countries that, they have a lot of talent.
My issue today with Huntington on this whole Dickerson trade and the whole trade deadline, thanks, Mike, situation, is he comes out and says we don't trade Vasquez because unlike the outside world, we expect to be a team that is competing for a playoff spot in September, and we think we'll play games in October next year. Bob, at some point, it's got to be actions and not words with this team. And I understand that Neil Huntington is a very difficult job because of the constraints that are put on him from a spending standpoint. But he's got very little margin for error. And frankly, right now, Bob, he's not doing a good enough job with that. I'm sorry. I don't like the moves they made at the deadline. How do they only get rid of one expiring contract on July 31st? Melky Cabrera hit $330 in July. There's not a team that would want him. And I'm not saying you get a lot back, but that frees up a spot on your roster for a younger player who can play now. Right, that's what they need.
And you wouldn't have gotten a big return. You would have gotten something, I would imagine, because Cabrera could help a good team that needs a pinch hitter off the bench and a veteran presence. I get that. But to me, just dumping Dickerson for nothing, you got to get more than that. And I know that they have no plans for him next year. I realize that. They didn't want to pay the money. You can argue that he wasn't the same player as he was. He doesn't have enough power, whatever you want to say. But he was a Gold Glover. He hit 300. Tell me why you're getting rid of talented players.
Because he's not a $9 million player, not just to the Pirates, but to all of baseball. And that, which was a good trade to get him, they gave up only Daniel Hudson. But the reason why they don't have him in their long-term plans is because Polanco's on a bad contract. I think if
Polanco would be a good contract if he just was healthy. He's not healthy. And he was playing well, if you remember, before his sliding injury last year. He had a 3-month span where his numbers were really good. And then everything changed dramatically. And yes, now you're in a situation where you got to deal with that. And so you have to bring him back because of it. You can't trade him. So now you're stuck
but now
there.
there's no spot for him because you'll have Reynolds, Marte, and Polanco in your outfield. You're not going to give Polanco $8.5 million to sit the bench next year. The Pirates would never do that.
Let's go back to the Lions. We have Mike in Oakland. Mike, you're up.
Hey, Bob. Good to talk to you again. Hey, Andrew. How you doing?
Hi, Mike.
A couple quick points, and I'll let you guys respond. So I'll try not to be too long. First of all, I think Josh Bell, the all excitement we got, I mean, he had 6 good weeks out of the past 2 seasons. He was terrible last year. He's been terrible in June, terrible in July. He had a nice 6 amazing weeks. But I'm sorry, I don't feel that you can really – I don't think he's shown that you could build a team around him, especially with his poor defense as well. That's the first point. Second point is I think Ray Searage, if he is brought back after the season, I think There should be protests in the streets for Pirates fans. This guy has not done anything in a few years. The pitching is way below what it should be, and I don't know how this guy is still here. I'm serious. He's terrible. The last thing I want to say is I think Frank Coonelly was interviewed in the Post-Gazette and say there's no excuses, injuries aren't an excuse, payroll is an excuse. Well, payroll is a big part of it. Where did the $50 million BAM money go from Disney that every owner got?
Well,
Why didn't they put that into payroll?
Yeah, here's the thing on that. I mean, Coonelly came out, Bob, in spring training and said, the A's won 98 games last year with the lowest payroll. So that tells me that if you believe you can win or get to the playoffs with the lowest payroll, when you don't, there should be consequences, right?
Absolutely.
So the viewer's saying that, if you thought you had, and they said this, we have the pitching staff to win playoff games this year. That was Neil Huntington in March. And now you've got the 14th ranked pitching staff in the National League by ERA. Somebody's got to be held accountable for it.
No, that's the word. Now, we've heard that word from them a lot, accountability. Accountability would suggest that when things go badly like this for 4 consecutive years, you take a good look at who's in charge.
And Bob,
you have to. And they're good people. I get all that, but they're also signed to 3 more years. Yeah. And are you going to be willing to let the same group, the same scouting department, the same everything take the next step?
I would get on the phone with whoever's the lieutenant in Houston or L.A. with the Dodgers. It's not just spending money, the way they've developed talent, and bring that guy to Pittsburgh. How many times do I have to hear Neil Huntington take responsibility and say, I did a bad job of building this team, or hear Clint Hurdle talk about showering off well? I mean, it's old. Neil Huntington's had more than 10 years here, and Hurdle's been here since 2011. That's a long time. That's an eternity in pro sports, Bob.
We got Pete in Squirrel Hill before we go to a break. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Bob. How are you tonight? You
Good,
and Andrew
thanks.
both. Hey, Bob. Everybody talks about Bob Nutting being cheap. No owner in baseball spends more money on fireworks. So think about that for a minute.
Well, they had 37,000 there last night.
A lot of Mets fans, Bob.
They were. Like 10,000 Mets fans, it seemed
Bob,
like.
think about this. I've heard you and Ted Douglas, both on the fan, talking about moving Josh Bell to right field.
I said try it. Why not?
If one of your solutions is attempting to be to remove a glaring defensive deficiency at one position and put it into another, you're in a lot of trouble.
No, what I'm saying is I want to see Will Craig, because he is a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, and he hit his 21st home run tonight. I want to see him play there because that's the only position I think he can play. And if you can make room for somebody by putting him in right field, if he if he
You're talking about doing that now.
I'm talking about doing a lot of things now. August and September should be a proving ground for certain things. Get him up here. I want to see Will Craig.
The only way Josh Bell's
One more thing, Bob, if I may, regarding Neil Huntington. If you do not know how to draft, which he has proven evident, and the organization does not know how to develop talent, any assets you have on your current roster, you need to contact the organizations that know how to develop talent and trade away your assets to get them in, because you can't do it.
All right. Thanks, Pete. What did you want to talk
Here's
about?
what I was going to say. Like, the only way that there's a spot opening up in the corner outfield for Bell is if they get rid of Marte, right? I mean, that's the logical
move. Or if Polanco
move.
just cannot be what you expect him to be. I mean, are you going to put him out there if injuries make it impossible for him to become what the player you think he is? Or are you just going to keep doing that because he's under contract?
They would.
I want to see options. I want to see what he can do out there. Josh Bell played outfield a little bit. He's your first baseman now. Where's Will Craig going to play?
I don't think Will Craig is in their plans the same way that he's a first-round pick. He should be.
Brian Reynolds wasn't in their plans before this season, right? He wasn't coming up here. He got a chance, and now he may win the batting championship. So did they not scout it well enough?
They're on course to lose 92 games, which would be their most since Hurdle got here. These options you're talking about where you're trying out players for next year, that's where we should be at. When they say technically we're still in it, they're managing and putting out teams thinking about the present and not tomorrow, and that's why Craig should be here, Cole Tucker, Cabrian Hayes,
all of them.
Keller. It's time to see these guys, and they're all at AAA.
Right.
We're not talking about bringing guys up from single A.
All right, we got to take a break. Overdue for that. We'll take it. Come back with more right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.